everyone. Welcome to another episode of the Radium Girls. Before we get into today's story, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe to our channels, and be sure to turn on all notifications on YouTube so you don't miss when we upload. If you'd like to send us topics that you'd like for us to cover, head over to our Facebook page and send us a message there, leave a comment on one of our posts, or drop a comment down below on our YouTube. Stay tuned at the end of today's episode for our question.
So today we have another radiation type episode.
Mm-hmm.
And this is based in Japan, so we might get a little,
We're sorry, we're from Texas. What else do we need to say?
Yeah, we might not pronounce things as they should. Mm-hmm. So let's dive right in. On September 30th, 1999, Hisashi Aochi, 35 years old, Masato Shinohara, 39 years old, were mixing a batch of fuel containing uranium in a stainless steel tank, while a third co-worker, Yutaka Yokokawa, 54 years old, was sitting at a desk just over 13 feet away at the JCO nuclear fuel processing plant located inside the Tokaimura nuclear power plant in Japan. I'll put the names up too so y'all can read them if y'all are watching. Yeah. If you're listening, I'm sorry. As they continued to mix, a reaction occurred that resulted in a blue flash, emitting neutron radiation and gamma rays in the room. You know that's bad.
Yeah.
The mixture was able to reach critical mass due to a number of factors. First, the maximum amount of uranium allowed in the mixture was 2.4 kilograms, 5 pounds. When the reaction occurred, there were 16 kilograms, 35 pounds, of uranium in the mixture, which is 7 times the allowed amount.
That's a lot.
Yeah, that's a lot.
Someone done messed up.
7 times.
You don't messed up, Aaron.
Yeah. Ooh. Second, these men had no training in this level of enrichment of uranium for fuel, as this was the first time this process has been attempted in this factory for 3 years. Now that's where you messed up.
Yeah, that's true.
Whoa.
I take my statement back and I place it here.
Exactly. Also, the plant was only inspected 2 times a year by the state regulator.
Okay, that's also where you messed up.
Yup. No, when you're dealing with this stuff, why are y'all, taking shortcuts?
Yeah. You don't take shortcuts.
No. Mm-mm. It had never been inspected while the plant was in operation. That's number, 10 on the list.
How many red flags can you have before, hello,
oh my goodness.
Something's wrong.
Yeah. Oh, God. Okay.
Aochi, being nearest to the tank, was blasted with 17 sieverts of radiation. This is probably the highest dose of radiation any human has ever experienced. Shinohara received 10 sieverts, while Yokokawa received 3 sieverts. At the time, Japan limited workers' exposure to radiation to 50 millisieverts a year. A year! 8 sieverts is considered a lethal dose of radiation. So Aochi had that is double the lethal dose of radiation.
Yeah.
And Shinohara had just over the lethal dose, and Yokokawa received, less than half.
Yeah.
That's a lot.
That is a lot.
These poor guys.
Yeah.
Nuclear radiation 101. So nuclear radiation affects the atoms in our bodies by removing the electrons. This breaks the bonds between the atoms, including DNA and water in our bodies, damaging them. So if your DNA gets damaged enough, cells can't replicate and they die. Those that can still replicate create more damaged cells. When damaged cells multiply, it creates cancer. The effects of the radiation on Aochi were immediate. I mean, getting twice the lethal dose.
Yeah.
I would expect nothing less.
Mm-hmm.
It's crazy. He was in pain and couldn't breathe. He vomited into the tank and lost consciousness in the decontamination chamber. Shinohara turned to run, but only made it about 3 steps before he collapsed.
Oh.
That's horrible.
Man, I would not want to be in that.
Mm-mm. Not one bit.
No. Upon arrival at the Mito Hospital, Aochi's skin was red and puffy before he showed few other outward signs of his condition. The doctors began testing his chromosomes. They had shattered like glass.
Oh.
God, that's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
They could not be identified or arranged. Without chromosomes, his cells could not regenerate and his body could not heal. His white blood cell count was 0.
Wow.
Ooh, that's crazy.
Just instantly like that.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
It was estimated that the amount of radiation Alchi's body experienced was similar to that at the epicenter of the atomic bomb dropped on Hiroshima.
Wow.
Wow.
One man's body
took that amount of radiation. That's crazy. I'm also going to put some like radiation graphs so you guys can see like the amount. Oh.
Yeah. So if you're listening solely to our podcast, just you know,
go.
head over to our YouTube page or Google it yourself.
Just watch this one because this one is going to have some crazy pictures. You're going to want to see it.
Pretty graphic.
Yeah. And if you don't, just Google it, okay? The radiation destroyed his DNA and immune system. Man, it just destroys you.
Mm-hmm.
The plant was still in critical condition. Radiation creates heat, so the steel tank used to mix the fuel was soaking in cool water. This cooling of the tank helped to prolong the nuclear reaction, which lasted intermittently for 20 hours. Eventually, workers were able to drain the water, allowing the mixture to heat up and the reaction to cease. Then a solution of boric acid was added to the fuel mixture. Boric acid acts as a neutron absorber. 27 workers were exposed to the additional radioactivity in this process. A shield had to be put in place around the tank to keep gamma radiation from affecting the people outside of the plant.
That's insane.
I know, like, radiation is just so crazy. Like, that's why it's so interesting to me, because how crazy it can get.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's powerful, one of those powerful unseen forces.
Yeah.
119 people in the plant received doses of radiation around 50 millisieverts. Approximately 300 residents living in the area of the plant were exposed to levels less than 50 millisieverts. 310,000 people within 6 miles of the plants were ordered to stay indoors, and people living within 350 meters, just under a quarter of a mile, were evacuated. There was no critical accident alarm at the facility. When the accident first occurred, other workers were unaware of the emergency. That is crazy to me.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely crazy. It makes me think of, what is that? What's that show? It's like, it's been 0 days since the last, was it on The Office too?
I think so, yeah. In the warehouse?
Warehouse.
Yeah.
That's what it makes me think about. It's like, there's no alarm, so they can't, I don't know.
That's crazy
because
they could have probably gotten less radiation poisoning if they would have had an alarm.
Yeah. all the workers and stuff, and even the people who lived close by too.
Yeah, they should have some kind of alarm for
that. Took them 5 hours.
Yeah.
Mm-mm. After they were made aware, there was confusion as to whether or not the danger had passed. Okay. This led to 3 members of emergency personnel being unexpectedly exposed while trying to rescue the workers inside.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's not like you can see it or anything.
Yeah. It's a silent killer.
Yeah.
Like carbon monoxide.
Yeah.
Because the plant was not included in the National Plan for the Prevention of Nuclear Disasters, immediate protocols for the protection of individuals outside of the plant were not in place. Workers at a lumberyard very near the plant were not evacuated until 3 p.m., 4.5 hours after the reaction. So, very near. Yokokawa, Aochi, and Shinohara remained in the hospital.
How are they not going to have, like, the nuclear prevention set for them? I feel like anything with nuclear, uranium, any kind of radiation stuff, there needs to be, like, some protocols. What are y'all doing?
Yeah. And it's the late 90s. You'd think by now. You would think by now.
After everything that's happened in the past. Yeah. Okay.
Especially being in Japan, you know, like.
Yeah. Yeah. How did they prove this? That they had no training. It's been 3 years. Why didn't y'all get someone that was trained? I don't know. Y'all messed up a lot. Y'all messed up a lot. On day 6, Aochi was placed in a sterile room at the University of Tokyo Hospital. He needed a peripheral cell transplant. This had never been done before, so that he could begin regenerating white blood cells again. His sister was a match and donated the cells for transplant. After 1 week in the hospital, he began to show outward signs of radiation sickness. His skin began sloughing off. Because his cells couldn't regenerate, no new skin formed to replace it. He again began to have difficulty breathing. Ouchie said, "I can't take it anymore. I am not a guinea pig." He was in extreme pain despite medication. At this time, he was put on a ventilator and kept in a medically induced coma. It appeared that the transplant had been a success. But a week later, tests showed that the radiation was attacking the transplanted cells as well.
On day 27, Ouchie's intestines started to melt.
Oof.
3 weeks later, he started hemorrhaging. He began receiving blood transfusions, sometimes as many as 10 and 12 hours. He began losing a significant amount of fluids, 10 liters or over 2.5 gallons a day, through his skin, so they wrapped him completely in gauze.
Ooh, nasty.
That just sounds so painful.
Yes, it is.
It's definitely not a way to live.
Like, you don't even have skin. It's like through your meat. Yeah. Ooh.
He also started bleeding from his eyes. His wife said that it looked like he was crying blood. Ouchie started receiving daily skin transplant using artificial skin, but that wouldn't stick. His muscles began falling off the bone.
Oh, nasty.
I just, I don't know. My heart hurts for him.
Mm-hmm.
That's not a way to live.
No, and them trying to save him. I feel like, just let me go.
I understand him, saying, I'm not a guinea pig. Just stop. Oh. On his 59th day in the hospital, his heart stopped 3 times in just 49 minutes. He was resuscitated. This severely damaged his brain and his kidneys. At this point, Ouchie was on life support. Doctors continued life-saving measures, but Ouchie died of multi-organ failure on December 21st, 1999, after 83 days in the hospital. This man went through 83 days.
Like being a guinea pig.
And excruciating pain. That's excruciating.
And them experimenting on you. But yeah, I'd be like, let me go, and then died 3 times already. Yeah.
That's so sad.
That is there was no point in even trying. He had double the amount of radiation.
I mean, I get the doctor's perspective. I don't get it because I wouldn't have done that to any kind of human being. But they were scientifically, trying to do the artificial skin stuff and trying to see if they could save him. But I couldn't have. Nope.
You're just pretty much guaranteed death after that much. There's so no sad point. Shinohara seemed to be getting better. On New Year's Day 2000, he was taken in his wheelchair to visit the hospital gardens. However, in late February 2000, Shinohara contracted pneumonia, and the damage to his lungs from the radiation meant that he would need to be put on a ventilator. This prevented him from speaking, so he had to write messages to nurses and family. Some of the last words written by Shinohara were, "Mommy, please."
That's sad.
That is so sad. Shinohara died April 27, 2000 of multi-organ failure. Yoko Kawa stayed in the hospital for 6 months. He was then released to recover at home. In the reaction to the accident, which was found to be completely the result of human error. Yeah.
Which humans, though?
Right, yeah.
The inspectors that failed to come multiple times while the plant was in operation, or,
Right, I don't think these dudes.
The people who should have trained them.
The bosses here need to be in charge. The Tokai Mura power plant was fully automated and fitted with neutron monitoring equipment. So everybody lost their job. Tokai Mura had a history of taking shortcuts and putting their employees at risk to speed up production.
Obviously.
Yep, they did. The deaths of Ouchie and Shinohara were the ultimate penalty for their carelessness. Absolutely. 1 year after the devastating accident, 6 employees were arrested and charged with the negligence. Good. One of the 6 was Yoko Kawa, who claimed he forgot or was not aware of the dangers in the plant. He pleaded guilty. Wow. Honestly, I'd probably feel guilty from them dying. Even if I wasn't really guilty. I don't know.
If I wasn't guilty, if I knew I was not guilty, then no, I would not feel guilty. I'd be pissed.
I mean, I'd be pissed, but I'd feel guilty about them dying and not me, because we all had radiation poisoning.
Well, yeah, but he wasn't as close as they were.
Yeah, that's true.
So,
he was at the desk or something, wasn't he?
I think so, yeah. But if he knew that was like 7 times more, then yeah, I'd feel guilt right away.
Right? Why would you even allow that? So,
yeah.
At the time, Japan generated approximately a third of its electricity from nuclear power.
Not that plant at that time.
No.
Not for that, 6 months or so? Or not 6 months.
That place, I'm surprised they didn't get shut down. Mm-hmm. Like, at least they automated it, I guess. But then, like, that takes away all these people's jobs. So I don't know. I don't know what's better. Obviously, humans make a lot of mistakes.
The automation was for the monitoring equipment.
That's it? It wasn't
for, like, there was still...
It says it was fully automated.
With the neutron... That's the way I took it.
Oh, shit, I don't know. Something took someone's job.
Because what were they doing here? What were they, like...
I don't even know. What were y'all making over here?
Oh, the electricity. Maybe it was then. Oh, fucking hell.
It was a nuclear fuel processing plant. So they had nuclear fuel stuff.
After this incident, Hisashi Aochi became the most radioactive man. It's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
All right, guys. Well, we hope you enjoyed today's story about the most radioactive man. Definitely a sad one.
Yeah, definitely
it's horrible. Tragedy.
Mm-hmm. Do y'all think that they should have been trying to save him or let him go?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Do you think that it was cruel for them just to, like, experiment? I feel like it was cruel that they were, like, basically experimenting on him. Mm-hmm. But, I mean, at the same time, they need science stuff. But if he's not willing for, I don't know. I think it's just cruel.
Yeah, that's a hard one.
So yeah, let us know what you think. Leave us a comment down below what you thought of our story for today. If you like stories like this about radiation, let us know. We'll do more. We'll find some more stories about them.
There's plenty out there.
I mean, we are the Radium girls.
Yep. We love a good Radium story.
Yes. Oh, and as a reminder, don't forget to hit that subscribe button on our YouTube channel, on your favorite podcast site. And if we are not on your favorite podcast site, just send us a message on our Facebook page, go to our YouTube, leave us a comment down below. Let us know where you like to listen, and we'll look to get on that site for you. We are on Spotify, Apple, Google Podcast, Simplecast, and Podcast Addicts. And it also uploads to Facebook. So we have our podcast on Facebook as well as YouTube. So let us know where you'd like to listen to us from. Leave a comment down below, hit that like button, subscribe, turn on all notifications, go to our Facebook, like our Facebook, do all the things. I cannot stress it enough. We really appreciate your support here. So let's get into today's question. Okay. So, do you cut your pancakes and then put syrup, or put syrup and then cut your pancakes?
Syrup.
Yes! Yes! You just made me so happy!
Why?
That's what I do.
Oh, okay.
You put syrup and then you cut them.
Are we the weirdos or something? Yeah, you gotta douse it in syrup for like 10 minutes. And then
10 solid minutes.
Yeah. And then cut it up.
Well, my boyfriend and I went out to breakfast one morning, and like I'm over here, I'm lifting my top pancake, buttering my second one, putting syrup on it, putting my top one down, buttering my top one, putting syrup on the top one, and then making sure there's a pool enough around it so that I can dip it. And he's over here, he's cutting his whole pancake, and then he's doing his syrup. Well, he butters it first, but then he's cutting it, and then he's pouring his syrup over it. So we had a whole debate about this. I asked my whole family, and like they were at first saying to pour the syrup and then cut it like me, and then once he explained his side of things, that like if you cut it first, then it saturates the whole pancake.
I mean, that makes sense too.
But... It makes sense, but it's not right.
Yeah.
I don't think it's right.
Douse it.
Douse it. I like to do, like how I was saying, you do your layers. You butter your bottom one, and then you put your syrup, and then put the top one, butter it, and syrup. That douses them.
That's exactly how you do it, yeah.
Yes! Okay, well, what do? Do you put your syrup on first, or do you cut your pancake and then put your syrup? And if you don't like pancakes, same goes for waffles. Do you cut your... Although, if you eat waffles and you don't put your syrup on first, you're a maniac. You're a straight up cereal person.
What if you're a dipper? They're serial killers too, huh?
Yeah, they're serial killers too. Because waffles have the little pockets made for the syrup.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's true.
So if you cut your waffle and then put your syrup, you are or dip it, you are a serial killer. You've got to put your syrup on first. 100%.
Definitely gotta have butter.
Yes. All right, guys, let us know in the comments down below. If you're listening to our podcast, head over to our Facebook page. We'll have our episode up, shared, so comment on that post. And as always, stay curious.
On day 6, Ouchie was placed in a sterile... Ouchie was placed in a sterile... sterile... Ouchie was placed in a sterile... sterile... Was placed in a sterile... Here. Ouchie was placed in a sterile... I feel like I was there.
Start the whole thing on day 6.
On day 6, Ouchie was placed in a sterile... sterile!
I thought maybe if you, like, started over, maybe it would, like, trigger your brain, like, we got this.
Sterile. On day 6, Ouchie was placed in the sterile... I can't say it. Oh my god. Sterile.
Oh my god!
What? Oh my shit, that scared me.